Rick said, my name's Steve Beam. I'm head of passenger cars representing Dodge, Chrysler, Fiat for FCA in North America. After last year's launch of the Demon, I'm sure a lot of you are wondering, hey, what's Dodge got up its sleeves today? And if you're thinking Challenger, and some of you might have got a little bit of a peek over here, you wouldn't be too far off. Before we get into that though, a little bit on the Challenger and the Charger. Those two vehicles have really been bucking the segment trend. If you look at our sales over the last few years, Charger and Challenger have really been pouring on the gas. In fact, since 2008, our sales combined of Charger and Challenger up 70%. All right, I didn't misspeak. Since 2008, Charger and Challenger sales up 70%. And if you look at the segments, you'll find out that the segment's not up 70%. So we're doing pretty well, and today hopefully will allow us to continue even to do better. So as we talk a little bit about Challenger and in regards to the three cars that we're going to show today, I'm going to see my little thing here. All right, so monitor didn't pop on, but we'll keep moving on. So you know, we got three vehicles today that we're going to go ahead and talk to you about, and I'm kind of proud about leading the Dodge brand. A little bit about myself, you know, my background naturally is in the cars and muscle cars. I did a little drag racing. I talked to several of you earlier today. So I'm really excited about, you know, the Dodge brand in particular, and those are the cars that naturally we'll be talking about. You know, the Dodge brand has a great history of performance, and one in which that, you know, I'm kind of proud to lead on, and I think the Dodge brothers today would be proud of what we've done so far with the muscle cars. So we got three cars. I'm going to jump right into the first launch today. So I'm going to be introducing to you 2019 Dodge Challenger Scat Pack wide body. All right, a couple things about the wide body. First of all, under the hood is a 392 V8. It has a best-in-class 485 horsepower. Naturally, you're going to notice next on the wide body that it's 3.5 inches wider with the wide body, which allows for improved performance and handling. Pirelli tires are mounted on 20-inch wheels that are 11 inches wide. That extra performance provides us 2 seconds on a road course improvement, which is about 12 car lengths, so it's quite a bit. And then from a quarter mile time, it actually is an improvement of 0.2 in the quarter mile. So you know, you're going to see quite a bit of improvements with the wide body features. The next portion you're going to notice is the waterfall of the hood, right? So this hood waterfall down from the Hellcat now down to the Scat Pack. So in my view, what I'd like to think of is that we have a sporty looking hood, but we got a very muscular or athletic look of the vehicle in general. Combine the two together, and we've got one fantastic vehicle here. So we're really proud of launching this out. We're excited about the opportunity that Scat Pack offers. A couple of stats on Scat Pack. It represents the largest volume in terms of our performance vehicles. This is the entry-level performance for Challenger. It actually is 50% of our total performance vehicles is on the Scat Pack, and Scat Pack today represents about 20% of our total volume. We think with today's announcement on the wide body that actually is going to improve. So really excited about this. This will be launching in the early fall in showrooms, and hopefully have it available for you guys to drive in our upcoming event later this summer. So I'm going to wander over to car number 2. So the second car is one in which you guys are familiar with as well. So let's introduce the 2019 Dodge Challenger Hellcat. So naturally, we sent out a few sneak peeks of the Hellcat. Some of you had an opportunity to see the dual snorkel hood. That's the big news that we have here today for the Hellcat. It's actually a functional hood. So inside the left side here of the hood snorkel allows 18% additional airflow into the inlet box. That additional air allows us to have an additional 10 horsepower. So today, the 2019 Hellcat, 717 horsepower, 656 pound-foot of torque available on the Hellcat. So again, this today is doing an outstanding job for us. This is our volume high performance model when it gets up to the 700 plus horsepower range. So that is the second vehicle that we have. And before I get into the third vehicle and the final one, I think it's fair that we talk about a little bit of history of what's happening with the Challenger. And let's start first when actually we launched the Challenger. So 2008, we launched the Challenger SRT. 2015, we launched the Hellcat. And that pretty much put us on the map, right? So the Hellcat at this stage, 707 horsepower at the time, broke a lot of records. You know, it basically put Dodge into the muscle car segment that we know we belonged in. And, you know, then we came out with Demon last year, right? So the Demon in 2017, not only did it put us on the map, it blew the map up in my view. Running a 965 quarter mile time, 140 mile per hour. You know, it basically sold out in a matter of days. And speaking of the Demon itself, you know, last weekend we actually sold our last production Demon vehicle, along with the last production Viper at the Barrett-Jackson auction in Northeast. And there were two big winners that day. The first big winner was the guy that actually won the winning bid. The second big winner was United Way, SCA's charity of choice for the last 60 years. We donated 100% of the $1 million winning bid of those two cars. Something that we're really proud of, and something that we look forward to hopefully doing with some other cars here in the near future. So without further ado, let's introduce the final car. It is our 2019 Dodge Challenger Hellcat Redeye. So you'll notice a lot of the features that waterfall from the Hellcat straight over to the vehicle from a performance standpoint. But what's key here is a couple of factors. Number one, I like to view this car as the best of the Hellcat and the best of the Demon now into one vehicle. In fact, my line is that it's a Hellcat that's been possessed by the Demon. And that's what you have here with the Redeye. Underneath the hood, 797 horsepower. 707 pound-foot of torque available on this vehicle. It's basically the Demon engine with a slightly different calibration that allows the horsepower and torque stats that I just spoke to you about. You know, it's a vehicle that the difference between the Demon and the Redeye is the fact that the availability of this car is there, right? The Demon was a fairly short, low production vehicle, 3,300 in total that was built for North America. Whereas the Redeye basically is available for us. Now there's a lot of things that the Demon had that this car doesn't, that we fenced off and protected what I think is right for those that currently own the Demon. So a few stats on the car, 0 to 60 in 3.4 seconds. It also goes over a quarter mile in 10.8 at over 130 mile per hour. So it's, you know, it's going to be fun to watch this car fit into its own in regards to the complete lineup here for Challenger. You know, I'd like to think that, and I spoke earlier about our Dodge brothers, I'd like to think that our Dodge brothers would be, you know, proud of the fact that we bring vehicles out of this nature. We're going to make them available to everyone instead of just available to a select few. A couple of drive modes I'd like to talk about that's on the Redeye. Number one, it's got launch control, it's got power chiller, it's got after run chiller, torque reserve, and line lock. So it's got a lot of similar features from a driving experience that was available on the Demon. And again, we fenced off some of those that we felt were the ones worthy of that. So these are the three cars today that I'm glad everybody came out, had a chance to view the vehicles. We're going to open it up to some questions here in a little bit. If anybody has any questions, I've got myself along with my Dodge team. We'll be happy to answer. So thanks for your time. Thanks for coming out, and hope you enjoy the cars as much as we do.
Anybody want to ask anything in the larger group? We can answer some of those right now. Kurt?
Pricing hasn't been announced yet. Around $7,000. We'll have it in a couple of weeks. before the drive out in the Northeast.
All the right folks are here, so come on up, and we're here all day. Thanks.
Alright folks, there you have it, the new 797 horsepower Hellcat Redeye. Essentially the same engine as the Demon with different tuning, so they described. Here's the first look at the new spoiler.
One more thing.
Obviously based on the wide body.
Just to be clear, no embargo for information on these 17 hospitality. Thank you.
So this car does not have the drag radials like you would find in the Demon. Curious to see what you guys think of it. Really interesting new wing design, how it kind of slopes down around the edge there. Give you a peek into the interior here. You can see the little Hellcat logo here. I did give it a red eye. That's how you can tell it apart from the new 2019 Hellcat. There's a look at the right side. First peek at the engine. There it is.
Basically, you open the hood and you can't get the friggin' shot. Right? Way to go.
Oh, okay.
So over here, this is the new 19 Hellcat. You can see completely different hood. Step on over and show you the interior here. What do you think, Nathan?
I love it. I'm a little concerned about one thing. They didn't mention anything with a manual transmission, so I'm worried that they may have gotten rid of it. One thing they didn't announce. But I love the fact that they actually increased the horsepower just based on better breathing.
You have the numbers there?
Yeah.
This is the new 2019 Hellcat.
This is the Hellcat, this blue one, and because of the new intake, 717 horsepower, 656 pound-feet of torque, so much more powerful. And with the wide body kit, obviously better performing. So that's cool. This other one's nuts.
Yeah, let's go over some of those numbers.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is the Redeye.
It is the Redeye. So officially, it's not a demon, but the way the guy put it, it's been possessed by a demon. I actually kind of like that. 797 horsepower. Not quite as much as a demon, but it's still a lot. And 707 pound-feet of torque.
Well, their point is that you can no longer get the Demon, right? They sold the
Demon's
last one.
done, and the last Demon went out as a charitable donation to the United Way, which was, by the way, really awesome. It was like $1 million. So they have this vehicle, which is going to give you nearly the same performance. 797 horsepower isn't that much less than what they had in the Demon. I'm guessing, well, let's see here. 0 to 60, 3.4 seconds, quarter mile, and 10.8 seconds. So slightly under the Demon, but it's still pretty damn good.
Let's take a look at the third vehicle here, or I guess the first one they
Introduced?
announced.
Yeah.
So this is a Scat Pack wide body. So they put the wide body kit on the vehicle like the Scat Pack, and of course gave it the far larger tires to go to the 305. So this is based on the SRT Scat Pack.
Yeah. So they're talking about altogether increases in horsepower, 485 horsepower. Now, one of the things about this vehicle that is unique is the fact that it took the old hood from the Hellcat and they put it on this
Yeah, let's
vehicle.
take a look at that too.
Yeah.
Show you a quick peek at the inside. Nathan, this one does have your transmission there.
Yes, thank God. Manual 6-speed transmission, proper sporty car, and now it's wider, so hopefully it'll handle a lot better too. We don't have any stats as to performance numbers, but I'm going to assume that this will be a little bit quicker than the current Scat Pack package.
So here we go, we'll show you the hood. So you used to be able to tell a Scat Pack from a Hellcat with this style hood, but now it looks like the 19 in the slide body is going to have a very similar hood to the Hellcat. You see right here, 392. But really the big news is this Redeye that you see over here.
The Redeye is the huge news, but the increase on the regular Hellcat's horsepower, I think is pretty significant. That's not a little bit of horsepower, that's a lot more horsepower.
717 on the new 2019 Hellcat.
Hell yeah.
Muy importante, vean ustedes el interior. Vamos a ver un poco cinturones de seguridad de color rojo. Esto te da mayor versatilidad.
Close?
Yeah. Making really an aggressive rear wing here on this.
Yeah, and I like the fact that it's a black wing. I like the contrast quite a bit. Yeah, it's funny, I didn't think I'd like the silver, but I think it looks really good like this. Good looking car. Guys, we have a lot more information that's going to be coming out from this event. So this is just the beginning. So don't forget to tune in to